Good morning, everyone. I am Seminarian Leonard Bilyoso. Today, we'll be diving into one of the foundational texts in philosophy and science, Aristotle's Posterior Analytics. Well, Aristotle was not just a philosopher, he was a teacher, a scientist, and a deep thinker about how we learn, understand, and build knowledge. His insights remain amazingly relevant, especially in our modern age of information. Let's start with a simple question. How do we know something? It is enough to believe something is true, or is there more to it? Aristotle thought deeply about this. He argued that real knowledge is not just about memorizing facts, it's about understanding why those facts are true. This deeper understanding is what he called episteme, or scientific knowledge. In Posterior Analytics, Aristotle takes us on a journey to uncover the nature of true knowledge. He lays out the rules of reasoning, the rule of fundamental truths, and the importance of logical demonstration. Think of it like constructing a building. Every brick of knowledge rests on a solid foundation, and Aristotle teaches us how to build the structure without it collapsing. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore first, we learn and teach, and why it's tied to what we already know. Second, the importance of foundational principles like axioms, the truths we accept without proof. Third, the fascinating paradox of knowing and learning, how we build knowledge step by step. Number 4, Aristotle's rigorous structure for demonstrative reasoning, ensuring logical reliability. Fifth, the differences between universal truths in science and the variability of practical knowledge in ethics or politics. Sixth, and finally, the crucial role of definitions in shaping our understanding. Why does this matter? Because Aristotle is not just talking about ancient theories. He's giving us tools to think critically and reason effectively, tools we can still use today in everything from solving math problems to debating complex ideas. So, as we journey through these key ideas, I encourage you to think about how they relate to your own learning experiences, whether it's understanding a concept in school, solving real-world challenges, or simply exploring new ideas. Aristotle's principles can guide us toward deeper, more reliable knowledge. The basics of knowledge and demonstration. Aristotle begins by explaining that teaching and learning depend on what we already know. Think about math class. Before solving equations, you need to know numbers and operations. Aristotle says there are two main ways we gain knowledge: deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is starting with general principles to reach a specific conclusion. Example, if all humans are mortal and Socrates is human, then Socrates is mortal. What is inductive reasoning? Observing specific cases to make general rules. Example, after seeing many triangles, we conclude all triangles have angles showing to 180 degrees. True knowledge is not just knowing what is true, but understanding why. Aristotle calls this demonstration a logical process of proving truths step by step from solid foundations. foundational principles and actions. Aristotle says some truths can't be proven, they are self-evident and serve as the starting point for everything else. He calls these axioms. Axioms means basic truths we accept without proof. Example, a whole is greater than any of its parts. These axioms form the bedrock for all knowledge. Without them, we'd face an endless chain of needing to prove every statement. Think of axioms like the foundation of a building. Without them, the whole structure of knowledge would collapse. The paradox of knowing and learning. How can we learn something new if we don't already know it? This is the paradox Aristotle explores, and he solves it by showing how learning builds on familiarity. We know general truths but learn details through experience. Example, you might know all triangles share certain properties, but you truly understand this when you apply it to different kinds of triangles, like right or isosceles triangles. Learning moves from recognizing broad patterns to understanding specifics. Learning is like solving a puzzle. Each piece adds clarity until the bigger picture emerges. The structure of demonstrative knowledge. Scientific knowledge, according to Aristotle, comes from demonstrative reasoning. This means starting with self-evident principles and building logically towards conclusion. No circular proof. Conclusion can't look back to prove themselves. Example, you can say this is the true because of that and then later claim that is true because of this. Knowledge must be built step by step like climbing a ladder. Aristotle's method ensures our knowledge is reliable and avoids logical traps. Necessity and limits of demonstration. Aristotle says true scientific knowledge is universal and necessary. It's not about what might be true, but what must be true. Science focuses on eternal truths, like in math or physics. Example, the angles of a triangle will always sum to 180 degrees, no matter where or when. Practical sciences like ethics or politics, however, deal with variable truths. Example, the best way to govern depends on the situation, so it can have the same certainty as math. Aristotle distinguishes between universal knowledge and practical knowledge, helping us to apply reasoning to different areas of life. The rule of definitions. Definitions are essential for Aristotle. They explain what something is at its core. A good definition captures the essence of a thing. Example, a triangle is defined as a three-sided polygon with angles assuming to 180 degrees. Definitions are starting points. They don't need proof but are crucial for reasoning. Clear definitions make it possible to build logical demonstrative without confusions. Aristotle's vision of knowledge. In Posterior analytics, Aristotle provides a profound and enduring framework for understanding the nature and the acquisition of knowledge. His meticulous exploration of how we come to know emphasizes the structured nature of learning, where every inquiry begins with self-evident truths and gradually ascends toward a more comprehensive understanding of complex ideas. Aristotle's insistence on the necessity of logical reasoning and demonstrative proof underscores the importance of clarity and precision in thought processes. By highlighting the role of the first principle, truths that require no proof and serve as the foundation for all subsequent knowledge, he reminds us that true understanding cannot be built on a shaky or unclear assumptions. Instead, it demands a careful and methodical approach that integrates observation, reasoning, and the search for universal truths. This framework has not only shaped the intellectual traditions of his time, but continues to influence modern disciplines from the sciences to philosophy. His insights serve as a timeline, reminders of the importance of rational inquiry, systematic thinking, and a commitment to uncovering the principles that govern the world around us. Through Aristotle's teachings, we are reminded that the pursuit of knowledge is both a structured process and a deeply human endeavor, one that continues to define the way we think, we learn, and strive for deeper understanding in an ever-changing world. Think about the ways you move from the simplest facts, the building blocks of knowledge, the profound insights that shape your perspective and deepen your awareness of the world. Every step in this process mirrors Aristotle's emphasis on structure and progression, starting with foundational truths that are evident and undeniable, then carefully connecting them through a logic and reason to form a cohesive and reliable body of understanding. Consider how this approach influences the way you approach challenges, solve problems, or explore new ideas. Do you begin with clear, well-defined principles? Do you take the time to analyze the question, the connections between facts, or examine the reasoning behind your beliefs? Aristotle's teaching encourages us to be deliberate in our pursuit of knowledge, reminding us that true understanding is not just about accumulating information, but about organizing it in meaningful ways that lead clarity and wisdom. As you continue learning, think about how Aristotle's insights can inspire you to cultivate a more reflective and disciplined approach to knowledge. Embrace the idea of moving steadily from what is known and certain to what is new and profound, never losing sight of the importance of critical thinking and thoughtful analysis. In doing so, you not only honor the intellectual legacy of one of history's greatest philosophers, but also empower yourself to unlock deeper truths and insights in your own life. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of Aristotle's philosophy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot.